Welcome back. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's upcoming visit to the United States is set to be a significant one, making his first visit in his third term. He will also be holding a bilateral meeting with President Biden, participating in the Quad Forum and addressing a special event at the UNGA, focusing on global issues including the war between Russia and Ukraine after recently visiting both nations. And to track all those developments for you minute by minute, CNN News 18 will be bringing you our special coverage. And to do that, I'm also joined in by Aman Sharma, who's currently joining us live from Manhattan. A very good evening to you, Aman. I'm sure it's morning over there. Give us a sense of what is the popular sentiment within the Indian diaspora right now, considering we also know that there'll be an Indian diaspora meet, before we deep dive into what to expect from the UNGA address of the Prime Minister.
Well, yes, good morning here from New York, and we are very near the Times Square, you can see in the background. And we were at the Times Square last evening as well, speaking to a lot of Indian Americans, you know, the diaspora members, also at restaurants, many Indian restaurants in Manhattan here. And there's a sense of a lot of excitement over Mr. Modi's visit. You know, whenever Mr. Modi has been to the US in the past, we remember him for these big community events, the Howdy Modi event, the event at Madison Square Garden. This time, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is coming to the Long Island in New York, where an event for almost 15,000 members of the Indian diaspora will be held on September the 22nd. So obviously, there's a lot of excitement over what Prime Minister Modi will say at this diaspora event. We must remember that he's coming back in a historic third term as the Prime Minister. This is his first US visit after winning that third term. So obviously, Mr. Modi would, I believe, showcase, you know, his historic record of winning election after election, about how India is a much more stable and prosperous country under his rule.
Absolutely. Aman, Prime Minister Modi is also somebody who's always made his impact with each address that he's made at the UNGA, whether it is addressing concerns of terrorism or countering China, or even talking about India as a vibrant democracy. This time, we see a bit of an unease settle in between Washington, D.C. and New Delhi as Prime Minister takes off for the United States. All because Pannu has in fact been also trying to organize all those protests that are sort of overshadowing the India-US agenda.
Well, see, Akanksha, India has always been very, very critical of Khalistani elements. This organization of Pannu seeks for justice, you know, in a way running amok in the US. You know, India has always complained to the US about this, that such elements need to be reined in. And whenever we see Prime Minister Modi coming to the US, we see these organizations try and create ruckus. You must remember, Mr. Pannu's organization is a banned organization under the UAPA. He is himself a wanted man by Indian authorities, and that is why India has been stressing again and again that such elements must be dealt with an iron hand by the US authorities, and more so when the Prime Minister is going to be in the US, is going to Delaware, is going to be in New York for a number of bilateral meetings. We still don't know if this will feature in the discussions somewhere, but obviously the Indian diplomatic community at various levels has raised this very, very strongly, that elements like Pannu and his organization should be dealt very, very strongly by the US authorities.
All right, I'm sure it's going to be a very interesting visit. Aman, we'll keep coming back to you as those bilaterals are also all set to take place, with President Biden and Prime Minister Kishida of Japan all set to in fact step down after this UNGA. Many thanks to you, Aman Sharma. It was a pleasure speaking to you. That was Aman joining us live from Manhattan. And with that, it's a wrap from my end. Thank you so much for watching Plain Speak. Up